Hey everyone, it's Hank here. Today I'm going to show you how to play Magic the Gathering Commander, also known as EDH, online for free using your computer. With the right tools and setup, you can enjoy the thrill of Commander games with your friends from the comfort of your own home without spending a single dime. Let's dive right in. Before we get started, let's go over what you'll need to get this set up. First of all, you'll need OBS Studio. So make sure you have OBS Studio downloaded and installed on your computer. It's absolutely free and very easy to use. However, I will be going over the simplest way to get it set up in the demonstration phase. Number 2, a Moxfield account. Go ahead and create an account on Moxfield. It's a fantastic platform for building and playtesting Magic the Gathering decks online. And it also has a playtest feature that allows you to basically play the game of Magic for absolutely no money at all. If you don't want to make an account, they have the option to just play the pre-con decks or any decks that you find on Moxfield for free as well. But with the advantage of making an account, you can build your own decks and edit them and share them with your friends. The third thing you'll need is a SpellTable account. Now, SpellTable is a platform that was created by Wizards of the Coast, basically to do remote magic. You will have to make an account in order to use it, and we'll go over how to do that in the demonstration section. Now that we have everything that we need, the first step is to find a deck that you want to play. Let's go on to Moxfield under the pre-cons and pick one of the new Fallout decks to play. I've picked the Hail Caesar deck. What you're going to do is you're going to scroll down to the bottom of your deck and you're going to click on playtest. Now, if this is your own deck or somebody else's deck, you'll have this option regardless. So we're going to click on playtest. That's going to bring up this battlefield. And this is essentially what we are going to use in order to simulate playing Magic the Gathering without paying for any of the cards ourselves. So we need to set up our battlefield to look however we want it. You can customize your sleeves over here. You can customize your battlefield by clicking the player tab. You can set up a green screen if you want to have a custom battle map. But I'm going to go ahead and just keep everything the default way that it is. I will note that this section right here, the player section, is how you hide the card preview, which I'll explain later once we get into OBS. Once you've set up your Moxfield playtest, you're going to set up for OBS to be able to use the virtual camera. So let's go into OBS. If this is the first time you're in OBS, you'll probably see this auto configuration wizard. If not, you just go to tools and click on auto configuration wizard either way. You're going to be setting up your scene, and we're going to be configuring it to use the virtual camera. So let's go ahead and just use the wizard to do that. We're going to click apply settings. Once that's all done, your computer should have automatically taken you through the process of setting it up perfectly to be able to stream it as best as you can. Now we need to start adding scenes in order for our virtual camera to actually display anything. So we set up our basic scene by adding sources to it. What we're going to do is we're going to add a window capture source. We're going to call this Moxfield. And I'm going to call this one Moxfield Field for our reason in a little bit. But we're going to select the window for our Firefox or whatever browser you're using for Moxfield. And you'll see that there you go. Basically, we're good to go. We can just click start virtual camera and we're already displaying everything that we can see on our Moxfield playtest field. However, you probably don't want to show your hand to your opponents. There are two ways to go about this. One of them is super easy. The second one is not so easy, but looks a lot better. The easiest one is to just grab an image or use a black square to cover your hand. Take the image, resize it using the shift key to basically just cover your hand, and no matter what cards you click on, you will not be able to see them because of the images blocking them. Now this will do in a pinch, but it doesn't look that good. So the second way is a little bit more complicated, and it's going to be adding multiple window captures and resizing and cropping in order to do so. Also, I want to point something out now while we have the opportunity. If you hover over a card on the default settings of the Moxfield playtest, you'll see on the right hand side it'll display it. Now, obviously, this card is in my hand and I'm blocking it with my image overlay. But if I hover over the card for too long, obviously my opponents can look at it. If you want to disable that, what you do is you click on the player tab, you scroll down and you click on hide card preview, or you press the Shift P key on your keyboard, or the Command P if you're on a Mac. However, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to use the other way to be able to hide your hand and still give your opponents all the information they possibly need. So I'm going to delete the source for my image. Instead of using the image to block my hand, I'm going to use a more sophisticated way to show my opponents exactly what they need to see, but not revealing anything that I don't want them to see. So, first I'm going to display my battlefield. What I'm going to do is I'm going to crop my battlefield so that it displays only what I want my opponents to see. To crop in OBS, what you do is on the bounding box, you hold the Alt key and you'll see these green lines appear. As soon as you see the green lines appear, that means you're in the cropping phase. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get out this border from the scene as much as possible. Now, the way that it's currently set up, you can still see the card on the right hand side if I hover over it. However, I'm going to crop off as much of that as I can until I can't see the card anymore. Almost. I can see the border of it. There. Now I can't tell one way or the other whether I've done that or not. So that is my battlefield. So I'm just going to look at this to see, okay, there's a little bit of the border on the left-hand side. Great. I've cropped all that away. Now I'm going to resize the battlefield in order to try and put as much of it as possible. And once you're happy with it, if you don't want to move it anymore, you can just click the lock icon here in order to lock it, and then you can't drag it anymore. Now, I still want to be able to show my library, my graveyard, my exile, and my command zone. So to do that, I'm going to do another window capture. I'm going to do from Moxfield, but this one, I'm going to do library. Same thing, same window, but this time I'm going to crop down to this section right here until I'm happy with it. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, obviously, there are some areas that crop off cards, and you're going to have to learn that as you play the game, where your cards don't appear, specifically on the full right-hand side on the card preview. But if players can't see your cards, they'll let you know, and you can just move them accordingly. The last thing of information that we definitely want to give our opponents is our hand size. Easily done. We just crop down to this card right above it where it says hand size, and then we can just make it large enough that it fits fairly comfortable. With all of that out of the way, we're basically ready to start the virtual camera. If you want to fill in the dead space or change this however you want, you are free to do that with your sources. I'm going to fill out that dead space. Gucci. What if you want to use custom playmat? Well, there is a way around this. You need to select display green screen on the Moxfield under the player options. Once the green screen is enabled, if you go to your field section and you click on filters, you are able to use the chroma key. The default is green anyways, to basically blend out that background there. You can take your image, for instance, we can use this image right here. We can drag that all the way down to the bottom, and then your battle map is, or your playmat is essentially whatever image you want for your green screen instead, which I think looks actually pretty nice, but I'm gonna go ahead and just set that back to default. Once your OBS source is set up and ready to click Start Virtual Camera, we click on Start Virtual Camera in order to start our virtual camera. Then we go to SpellTable, we log in. If we already have a link for the table, we can just plug in the link and connect that way. But for this example, we're going to create a game. If you want to make it public, it'll appear in this lobby down here. But if it's not public, you need a key in order to join. So we're just going to create this example game, and it's going to bring us up the options. Now, if this is your first time on SpellTable, it's going to ask you for permissions to use your microphone and your camera. You need to allow it to do that. You may not want to use your microphone in SpellTable, and I'll show you how to disable that, but you do need it to use your camera. So I'm going to click allow. It will probably default to your webcam if you have a webcam, but you go ahead and select your source as OBS Virtual Camera from the little gear over here. And once you're ready, you click Join Now. It's going to ask you again, which do you want to use? You're going to click on OBS Virtual Camera. You're going to click Allow. As long as you set everything up in your OBS properly, you should be able to see it display it like this. From that point, you can use the Moxfield browser playtest to play out your cards. You can shuffle, do all that stuff. My friends and I, we use the life tracker in SpellTable, which is just up and down in this window in order to configure life. If you hold shift, apparently it does tens. I didn't even know that. It's also, you also should mute your microphone in SpellTable if you're playing over Discord and stuff like that, so you don't have double speak. And make sure to add your commander so that people can track commander damage. But for the most part, you're good to go. Once you have all of this set up, you are able to basically play any deck of your creation without paying a single dime for any cards for free online with your friends using your computer in the comfort of your own home. Right, to get the link for your SpellTable, you click on this invite players icon and you can just copy and paste that and give it to them, and they'll log into their SpellTable accounts and basically connect that way. And there you have it. With OBS Studios, Moxfield, and SpellTable, you can enjoy playing Magic the Gathering Commander online with your friends for free. You don't even have to buy a single card. If you found this tutorial helpful at all, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, as SpellTable, Moxfield, nor OBS have sponsored this video in any way. I just think they're all great. So thanks for watching, happy gaming, and I hope to see you in some Commander games. Toodles.